Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a pretty interesting concept, sleep banking.
Hmm.
The idea that you could actually sort of store up extra sleep for later. When you know you're going to need it,
Yeah.
it feels a bit like trying to cheat the system, doesn't it? Like outsmarting our own bodies.
It definitely sounds a little, well, suspect at first glance. Our bodies usually like things pretty immediate, especially rest.
Right.
So, yeah, the mission for this deep dive is really to look at the research. Is there actually any solid science behind this idea of, banking sleep?
And we did look into it. We found some pretty compelling stuff, actually, especially studies on people in really demanding situations.
Like military training, right?
Yeah.
And shift workers. Situations where sleep loss is kind of predictable.
Exactly. And honestly, what we found might surprise some people.
It was definitely interesting. So, okay, let's start basic. What exactly is sleep banking when we use that term?
Right. So simply put, it's just deliberately sleeping more than you normally would in the days, maybe nights, leading up to a time when you know you're going to get less sleep. Proactively building up a bit of a sleep reserve.
And, okay, here's the kicker. The research actually suggests this works, to an extent anyway.
Really?
Yeah, studies have shown that people who do this, who bank sleep before they're deprived, they actually perform better on cognitive tests afterwards.
Better how?
Well, their reaction times tend to be faster, for instance, compared to people who went into the sleep loss period without that extra sleep buffer. It seems like that extra sleep gives you a bit of resilience against those immediate brain fog effects of being tired.
Okay. Let me try an analogy. It's like your sleep need is a fuel tank.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
Normally, you fill it up every night. But if you know you've got a really long drive coming up, say a week of super early starts or something,
All right.
sleep banking is like topping off that tank a bit extra before you set off, so you have a little more in reserve.
That's actually a really good way to put it. A sleep savings account, maybe? And the data backs that up. Even just banking, say, an extra hour or two over a few nights, it can genuinely make you more resilient. Better able to handle the mental fog, the physical drag that comes with not getting enough sleep.
Okay, but this can't be a free pass, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just constantly burn the candle at both ends and then, sleep for 12 hours on Saturday and think you're totally fine.
Oh, absolutely not. That's the crucial point. Sleep banking is not a cure for chronic sleep deprivation. It just isn't.
Right.
You can't erase weeks or months of bad sleep habits with just a couple of longer nights. Think about sleep rebound.
That's when you finally crash and sleep for ages.
Exactly. Your body naturally tries to catch up after you've been short on sleep. It increases sleep duration, maybe the intensity too.
And that feels good temporarily, sure.
It does. It offers some relief from feeling totally exhausted right then, but it doesn't reverse the deeper negative impacts of long-term sleep debt.
Like what kind of impacts?
Well, things like hormone disruption or your stress hormones like cortisol can get out of whack. Memory consolidation suffers, which is key for learning.
Okay.
And even your immune system can take a hit. Sleep banking doesn't fix that underlying stuff.
And we also saw some research mentioning that consistently sleeping too much, like more than 9 or maybe 10 hours regularly, that could actually be a sign of something else going on, health-wise.
That's a really important point, too. It's not always benign. So the key takeaway here is that sleep banking is a specific short-term strategy.
A tool.
Exactly. A tool for specific anticipated periods when you know sleep's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's not and shouldn't be seen as a replacement for just getting good sleep regularly.
Okay, so when would this actually be useful? Like, give me some concrete examples.
Sure. Well, travel is a big one, especially across time zones.
Jet lag.
Right. Getting some extra sleep before you travel might make that adjustment a little bit easier, buffer the jet lag effects.
Makes sense.
Or think about students facing final exams or someone with a massive project deadline at work.
Yeah, those intense periods.
Adding an extra hour or so each night leading up to that crunch time could genuinely help maintain focus and cognitive performance when you really need it.
Okay.
And maybe the classic example, expecting parents, preparing for a newborn.
Oh, yeah. Sleep deprivation guaranteed.
Pretty much. Banking some sleep beforehand won't make it easy, but it might help you cope a little better with those first few incredibly sleep-disrupted weeks.
Something else came up in the reading.
Yeah.
It's not just how much extra sleep you get, but the quality of that sleep.
Yeah.
That matters too, right?
Oh, absolutely critical. You can't just toss and turn for an extra hour and expect the full benefit.
Why is quality so key?
Because the real restorative magic of sleep happens during specific stages, especially deep sleep. That's when your brain does a lot of its maintenance work, memory consolidation, stuff like that.
Right.
So you need to create conditions for good quality sleep for those banked hours to really count.
Like the usual sleep hygiene stuff.
Exactly. Keep the room cool, dark, and quiet. Limit screen time before bed because that blue light messes with melatonin.
The sleep hormone.
Precisely. And avoiding caffeine late in the day, obviously. You want those extra hours to be genuinely restful, high-quality sleep.
So let's sort of summarize. Sleep banking, it's not a myth, it's real.
It seems to be, yes.
And it can be a genuinely useful tool for specific, predictable times when you know sleep's going to be scarce.
Correct. A tactical reserve.
But but it's absolutely not a long-term fix for generally bad sleep habits.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Think of it as a temporary backup plan. Your main goal, your foundation, should always, always be consistent, healthy sleep.
Which for most adults is what, 7 to 9 hours?
Generally, yeah. That's the recommended range for most people.
And one of the sources really hit home with this point. Feeling tired isn't weakness.
No, not at all.
It's just biology. It's your body sending a signal, a really important one.
Exactly. It's a fundamental need, like hunger or thirst. We need to listen to that signal.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is, look ahead. Got anything coming up where your sleep might take a hit? Could strategically banking an extra hour, maybe 90 minutes beforehand, actually help you navigate that a bit better?
It's worth considering as a tool in the toolkit.
Definitely. But maybe even more importantly, how can you protect and prioritize that consistent, high-quality sleep week in, week out? Because ultimately, that's the real foundation for feeling good and performing well.
That's the main game, absolutely.